If you're a high school student stuck in 70% hell, then you're probably sick and tired of hearing the same generic advice over and over again. Practice public speaking, read between the lines, write in a journal, as if Dear Diary is going to somehow get you better grades. This advice and those skills aren't going to get you the grades that you want. What is? In this video, I'm going to share 3 hidden habits with you that, when stacked one on top of the other, is going to be your cheat code for getting your first honor roll in high school English. So let's dive in. Let's face it, high school English could be tough. You're juggling multiple assignments and readings, trying to understand complex text, and always battling that urge to procrastinate. As a result, it's really easy to fall into the habit of last-minute cramming and assignments. Those habits are really just keeping you from that last 4 or 5% that's going to get you into the 80s. But here's the thing, the path to English success isn't about working harder. It's that old cliche, you need to work smarter. The first hidden habit we're going to develop is going to be sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice some of your time from what you enjoy doing in order to spend some more time on homework and assignments. You're not gonna give up something entirely, but if you're playing like 5 to 7 hours a night of League of Legends, then maybe take 1 or 2 hours away from League and actually start doing some of the work. You spent a ton of time getting Master in League, so why not spend some of that time getting Master IRL? So whether this is a ton of time on social media, TV, video games, whatever, sacrifice a little bit of that time. And in our second habit, I'll tell you what you're gonna fill that time up with. So what are you gonna do with all this free time? Easy. We're gonna go on to the second level of our pyramid, which is to get out of the mindset of not for marks, not worth doing. Basically, you're gonna do all the homework even if it's not for marks. The reason is that if you play a sport, you know that practice is important. If you never practiced and lost all of your games, you wouldn't sit around wondering, oh my, why did we lose all this time? I never practiced, I should have won. You're not going to walk around like that. But students all the time are getting 60s and 70s and wondering, why am I getting such bad grades? And there's constant X's throughout all of their homework assignments. The reason this is so important is, imagine you're writing an essay. If you never do your homework, this is really the first time that you practice writing. You're not going to be good at it the first time. But if you did a lot of, or all of, ideally, the practice assignments, you've had practice writing thesis statements or topic sentences or writing analysis to your evidence or even finding good evidence. All of that practice is ultimately going to add up so that when it counts, when it's for marks, when it's the game, to use that sports metaphor, you're going to have all the skills that you need. So sacrifice some time and fill it up with a lot of homework so that you get better at all the skills you need to. Now let's dive into the third skill. As a quick aside, if you found some value in this video, please consider giving a subscribe down below. It'll greatly help the channel grow. Now let's keep going. So now that you've sacrificed some time, you filled it in with doing the work that's not for marks, for extra practice, the final tip of the pyramid is really simple and straightforward. It's about breaking larger assignments down into smaller chunks. By breaking large, complex assignments down into smaller, manageable chunks, you're making a little bit of progress every day that over the course of a few weeks or a month is going to add up. Let's use an essay as an example. There are so many components to an essay. The reason why you're not getting consistent 80s is you're trying to do all these things a few nights or a couple nights before they're actually due. But imagine you have an essay due in 3 weeks. Break that essay down into, maybe 20 smaller manageable chunks. For example, a couple days you could work on an outline. Then one day you could work on an introduction. Another day you can work on a conclusion. You can spend a few days editing, for example. Maybe edit one day for like grammar and spelling. The next day look for flow and transition words. By breaking large assignments down into smaller chunks, it's going to make them feel more manageable and less overwhelming. I guarantee you're going to be surprised with how easy it is to actually get those A's, because breaking assignments down into smaller chunks is going to lead to better understanding, more originality in your ideas, and of course, higher grades. Here's your challenge over the next couple months. You're gonna implement these mindsets on a daily basis and watch your marks creep higher than they ever have been before. You're gonna start with the base of that pyramid, giving up something, sacrificing some of your time. If you're spending 7 hours on social media, cut maybe 1-2 hours out of that time so you can sacrifice it for school. What are you gonna do with that extra time? That second step of the pyramid, which is going to be the work that is not for marks. Do all of the practice tests, quizzes, assignments, etc., because it's going to slowly add up to better knowledge and better skills. And lastly, at the top of that pyramid, what you're gonna do is you're gonna break down those assignments, the really large ones like essays or presentations, into smaller, more manageable chunks that you're gonna do a little bit every day. I guarantee you, if you develop these 3 mindsets and stack them one on top of the other, you're gonna get closer to those hundreds than you ever thought possible. If you've struggled to develop good mindsets in school, you might also have struggled to develop some good habits. If that's the case, watch this video right here where I go over 4 habits that, when stacked on top of those mindsets, is gonna make it even easier for you to get those hundreds. Take care, I'll see you in the next one.